I just want to say, guys, I appreciate the support. You know, we've been motivated by some stuff we saw as far as like people downloading and stuff, and I think that's great. And like, if we can help anybody have a better day or just learn about boxing, that makes it all worth it, even if it's just one person. So I just want to say I appreciate the support. We've taken a blue pill, and now we got a boxing heart on, so we're ready to talk, bro. And with all the stuff going on in the world, it feels good to be behind the mic and just have a little fun and chop it up a little bit. I know everybody's seen this nonsense that we've been experiencing, the division in the world. And, I love that sports can bring us together at least a little bit sometimes. So.
Very true, man. Valdez or Canelo? Which one do you want to start
Let's talk about Canelo. Let's get this out of the way.
So what do you think about the punching bag? I love what you posted, by the way. That shit was fucking great, man.
I mean,
who was he? I never heard of him in my life.
Here's the thing.
Does he have a belt? He held the belt.
He had no belt.
What was he talking about unifying the division?
That's next against Billy Joe Saunders, who has a belt.
Billy Joe.
I mean, there's two sides to it. Okay, like the first side. Let's be diplomatic. Let's be positive.
Okay.
We get to see Canelo fight more.
Okay.
And he gets to stay busy so he doesn't get rusty. So I guess in that way it's cool because it's something to watch. It's something to talk about. Boxing was a little slow these last couple of weeks anyway, so this was cool to have something. That's about it. This shit sucks, man.
I was talking to my dad and Mark that were over the house watching the fight with us, and I was like, look, Canelo has the skill to beat anybody. He's super talented. He gets better and better and better. He just won't take these big fights. And I was like, look, people can say all the shit they want about De La Hoya, and myself included. I talk a lot of shit about De La Hoya. But his career, not at all. The motherfucker took on all the biggest challenges. Win or lose, he was ready to put it all on the line.
Yep.
I can't say the same for Canelo, man. I can't name anybody that he's fought that has a real record besides Triple G. And even that shit was meh.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last five fights, the only person I thought that had a chance to take rounds off of him was Danny Jacobs. Rocky Fielding had no chance. No. Sergey Kovalev, if you want to call that Sergey Kovalev, I call it Sergey Kovalev's corpse that he fought.
Yep.
I never thought Callum Smith had a chance. I never thought Yildirim, whatever his name is, doesn't even matter.
Jacobs is too trigger shy, so I knew that shit was going to happen.
Yeah, so like the last 5 fights, he hasn't really fought anybody that had a chance to win. I'm kind of tired of watching it, dude.
Yeah, man.
Like, I get it. You're getting money. Like, he got 8 figures for this fight. Hey, man. I can't hate, but like... You better believe that if Manny Pacquiao did this in his prime, or if Mayweather did this in his prime, they'd be getting shat on. Yeah. 1 or 2 tune-up fights is fine, but... And don't give me this shit about Callum Smith having the belt. I don't give a fuck. Everybody knew Callum Smith was going to lose that fight.
Don't give me the height advantage.
Everybody knew Rocky Fielding was going to lose that fight. Everybody knew Sergey Kovalev was washed up. Everybody knew Yildirim was coming off a loss and got a chance at Canelo.
And I've never even heard of him.
How are you a mandatory for a fight coming off a loss?
Right.
Yes, it was a split decision. I watched that fight. It could have gone either way, but still, you shouldn't get a shot off a loss. For
sure.
No way. You shouldn't be a mandatory for jack shit.
Yep, he was cherry-picked. And like the Callum Smith shit, like don't give me the height as an advantage when Canelo goes to the body like nobody else. It's not a fucking advantage anymore.
And he had alligator arms.
Right.
If I don't have the reach to go my height, what the fuck's the point?
Did you guys see the muscle that got pulled?
Yeah, I remember I posted about it. That shit was nasty.
Jesus Christ. That happened mid-fight?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's just that, and my dad, you know, who's diehard Mexican fan, loves Mexican fighters, not the blindly, what's the proper way to say it? The Mexican
blindly
fan.
Supportive of somebody just because they're Mexican?
Yeah, and that shit like needs to change, man, because you, again, like you just said, people support Canelo for doing this shit, but if Mayweather had done it, he's dodging and ducking, he's doing
Even
this.
if Pacquiao, as loved as he was, we fought a bunch of no-names, which to me they are. I mean, Callum Smith has somewhat of a name, but no, everybody knew they had no chance to beat Canelo.
You can't just support a person because he's from where you're from. You could like him, you could root for him, but it can't just be it. Anyway, even my dad was like, yeah, he just won't fight, you know, a quicker fighter. You know, you put him against the Mayweather, and, you know, Mayweather, and then he's out. And Canelo just doesn't have the foot speed for that. And he was so right. Canelo has amazing movements. He's getting way good defense, but he cannot chase somebody around the ring.
Yeah, he's got fast hands, but not fast feet.
Right, yeah, so... As you can see, look at all of it. Look at his resume. No fighter that he's fought since Mayweather has any kind of foot speed. And that's where I think he's cherry picking, and that's where I think like Eddie Reynoso and his manager or promoter, whoever else is involved, is like, nah, don't put him up against him yet. Nah, not yet. Nah, not yet. And he's gonna get to an age where he's starting to fall off, and then everybody's gonna give him that excuse. Well, he was getting older, and yeah, he beat him, but like it wasn't the Canelo of prime. Because had he fought Canelo in his prime, it would have been this. But that's not. You're not proving this shit, dude.
Yeah.
And I really fucking root for you, man, as a fighter. And as a boxing purist,
I love the way he carries himself too.
Yeah,
I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, but just
fight somebody with the pulse, bro.
Yes,
like Yildirim, it looked like Rocky punching his meat while Paulie watches. Now, if I want to watch Canelo beat his meat, like
true.
Come on, man. Like,
and you don't like every person on their deathbed says you don't want to die with regret. You don't want to be too old to not be able to do shit about it anymore, man. Change the shit. Change your legacy. Do something about it now. And I'm not saying it as like, fuck Canelo, I don't mean that at all. I'm just like, come on, dude, you have the skill to do this shit. Do it.
I'm getting impatient, man.
Yeah.
I know the pandemic has something to do with that as well. Once you fight Billy Joe Saunders, no more overseas fights, please. Let's fight some Americans. Let's fight some Mexicans.
Yeah.
Let's get in there with Benavidez. Let's get in there with Charlo. Let's get in there with Andrade. Let's get in there with Plant. Let's get in there with Beterbiev, even though he's not American or Mexican. Mm-hmm. He's bigger, so it's somewhat of a challenge. Big puncher. I mean, I'm just tired of watching fights where I know Canelo's going to watch him. It's just, it feels pointless. I mean, I know he's adding, M's to his bank, and that's cool. And the overseas fans, because they're fans of them, because they're from a certain area, think they have a shot. But we know they don't have a shot. Like, come on.
Nope.
It feels like he's wasting his prime. He's 30 years old. This is the perfect time to really start stamping your legacy. Pacquiao and Mayweather, they were fighting the best of the best in their early 20s.
Champs.
Let's get it. It's time. No more of this. Once you beat Billy Joe Saunders, who, let's be real, it's going to be a snooze fest.
Fucking whack,
It's going to be an absolute snooze fest. And I don't care what anybody says. I have a ton of respect for Billy Joe Saunders' ability.
I have none.
But he's boring as fuck to watch. He's going to pity pat. He's going to run away. He's going to pity pat. He's going to run away. He's highly effective at what he does. But I don't want to watch that shit. I don't like watching Billy Joe Saunders fight. Plus, he's kind of a dick. His son punched somebody in the nuts at the weigh-in. He's making domestic abuse jokes all the time. He's just a douche. So I don't really want to watch that fight. I will, because I have to. But I don't really care about this fight. Once we beat Billy Joe, move on. I want to see you beat Plant, which I think he's the heavy favorite, obviously, but it's a better challenge than what he's been fighting. I want to see you fight Benavidez, which is a better challenge than what you've been fighting. I want to see you fight a Charlo, Jermel, I think. I always get him confused, the bigger Charlo.
The not crybaby one.
Yeah, exactly. And then, hey, maybe by that time, Berlinga would have beaten somebody with a resume, and then he can be another contender. Like, come on, man.
Did you see what Berlinga posted?
Yeah.
So is he calling him out?
Yeah.
Did you see this, Mark?
No.
Berlinga was basically like something. He fought a punching bag or some shit like that.
Do you know how many punches Yildirim landed in 3 rounds?
2?
Supposedly like 6.
Whoa.
In 3 rounds, you landed 6 punches. That includes jabs. I don't know what his strategy was. He was heavy on the front foot, leaning forward. His gloves were like this far apart, so you could fit a third glove in between them. So it was just asking for an uppercut, which he ate a couple of times. So what was the strategy, bro?
So he was right here to Canelo right here, and I'm like, if you're doing that, you're either trying to bait somebody in, get an up, or do something. But if you're doing this and not punching, what the fuck are you doing?
His body just froze. It was like somebody had a universal remote and just froze him in place,
bro.
It made no sense.
It pissed me the fuck off. And even though I love watching Canelo fight, man, I love what he does, but I'm like, yo, come on, give me a fucking challenge, man.
Yeah, the best part of the fight was the entrance. I don't even like reggaeton at all,
shit.
But I think it's cool that they had fireworks. They had all this stuff. It was a big presentation. I love that.
I disagree.
I love the extra shit.
I hate it.
It made it feel like a bigger deal than it was. I mean, realistically, like I said, we watched Canelo beat his meat for 3 rounds. That's what we watched. We watched Rocky the Freezer beating his meat while Paulie awkwardly stood there and watched. That's what we watched.
The pre-fight, God. Fuck, look, I'm always trying to be very patient with people, especially when they're young, and I don't like coming for fighters. Fucking Ryan Garcia, man. Like, do you look in the mirror and not see how douchey you are, bro? And I really hate saying this, man, but it's the fucking truth. You're surrounded by yes men, so when people actually call you out on shit, you have no idea what to say. Mark, you call it out the best, man, because The people he was doing the interview with, did you know who they were?
Rock and they're British guys that have their own show. Like they do a show like this.
So they have nothing to do with boxing.
No, they do boxing. It's their own boxing. They don't actually fight, but
Gotcha.
they're yeah.
Okay, well I respect that even more then because they were asking him, okay, well who once you fight Tank, what's it gonna be, or what's next? What's next?
Oh, you gonna see?
And Garcia was like, I just you just gotta see, bro. And then he tries to smile it off, and I'm like, bro, do you think this is charming? You don't know what division. Who was he saying? He was
Canelo. They were asking him.
He was like, well,
if Canelo wins this fight, who do you think is next for him?
Well, I don't really know the division like that.
I don't really follow it like that. You train next to Canelo every day. You guys don't talk about your future plans,
right, bro? And it's your business, man. I know so much about acting that I shouldn't even fucking know about. I know who casts what. I know, and I'm not even like a person that looks at shit like that. I just know it because I'm in the business of it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you don't. Like, just shows me that you just want to be famous. You love all the shit that comes with boxing. You have a lot of skill. I'll never take that from you. But Jesus Christ, dude, like, listening to you in interviews and hearing about your shit, I just know you're surrounded by people who always laugh at your jokes, who tell you your ideas are good. And it's just sad because, Mark, I don't know if you or Mark said it best. It's like when you can't edit or cut it at a certain point, you have no idea how to improv, so your true side comes out. And what I saw was a very insecure dude trying to look cool, trying to be fucking cool. Like, come on, man.
With the all white on. It just was weird. And I don't know. I feel like he was drunk, dude.
You think so?
I spent my whole 20s and a lot of my 30s being the weekend drunkard. He looked a little lit to me. His eyes were a little watery.
But you were fun drunk.
Yeah, I tried to get thrown out the cliff. Anyway, I mean, like, I just felt like he was hammered and didn't know what to say, and like they were trying to lead him in a direction he couldn't really think quick enough, which made me think maybe he was drunk because your brain slows a little bit. It takes you a while. Yeah. But when you're behind the camera, you got to be quick. Like you can't have all that dead air.
I think you're being kind.
Yeah,
you're being kind, man.
I'll tell you one thing I learned. I'm not gonna pay any attention to what he posts on social media. This dude goes on Mike Tyson's podcast.
Oh, my God.
And is hammering home. Gervonta, that little midget, I'm going to knock that midget out in 2 rounds. He's going to need a step stool to hit me. Cringy, but okay, cool. Hype the fight up. Do what you got to do to make people want to buy it. Then they FaceTime Mike, and Mike Tyson's hilarious. FaceTime that nigga, FaceTime. So, right, FaceTime's Tank, and Tank's like, I'm game, let's do it.
Right.
Then, like, a couple of days later, it's like, no, Tank can wait in line. I'm fighting Pacquiao. Which I was like, okay.
Sweet.
Hell
we were
yeah.
excited.
Pacquiao versus Garcia, that's going to be all offense.
Yep.
It's going to be a war. Pacquiao's going to neuter him, but it is what it is. I'm down for it. Then they asked De La Hoya, then, like, it's radio silence for a while. They asked De La Hoya about it, and he's like, huh? What are you talking about? We never talked to Pacquiao. So your
promoter is like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah. And so now he's back on, well, I'm going to fight Tank, and I'm going to knock him out in 2. Remember that, 2 rounds. It's like,
what?
Why am I wasting my time paying attention to what you say? You obviously have no clue what you're talking about. Tank did say in a couple of days he's going to have a fight announcement.
Okay.
Maybe that's him. I doubt it.
It's not going to be them two.
I doubt it.
No way. They're going to wait, right, for people to be back in the stands?
I think so.
They need the money, man.
I think so. So I just learned the hard way with Ryan. I got to stop paying attention to him because he's all about clout, man. Like, that has to be what it is.
I don't follow him. I don't want to hear his shit. And again, like I was telling my dad last night, like, I don't know what I would have been if I was famous in my early 20s and if I had money in my early 20s the way he does. I don't fucking know. So it's hard for me to judge. But every time he's on an interview, I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, man. God, you look stupid.
Victorville, bro.
Victorville, yeah, you're the cool kid from Victorville. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
You guys know Victorville, California, and I'm not trying to. I know a couple cool people from Victorville, but for the most part, Victorville is meth area. And there's a lot of weirdos out there.
Yeah, man, you can't be.
Shout out to Victorville, baby.
Right? You can't be from a small town and then try to claim yourself to be the coolest person, man. That's not how the shit works.
Yeah,
come from a big city and be cool, and then we could talk.
And it's just it's starting to bother me that like they're bigging him up so much off a win off Luke Campbell.
Right.
Like Luke was, a great contender. But he wasn't he wasn't a big name. Like
we didn't think he had a chance. We were like, well, at least it's somebody who could compete.
Yeah, I thought he'd be competitive, and he was. And he dropped him pretty hard, and like he won a couple rounds. Yeah. But I'm not gonna overshoot it. He wasn't Leo Santa Cruz. No. He wasn't Lomachenko.
Right.
Like, why are we giving him so much credit for that fight?
Right.
Where Luke, I was looking at that fight again. I was like, damn, Luke kind of fought a dumb fight. why are you trying to block against a power puncher? Why don't you use your feet and get out of there?
Yep.
I felt like cumulatively Ryan did a great job breaking him down, but Luke made it easy because he just sat in one spot and tried to catch everything on his arms, blew his arms out, trying to block those punches.
Nope.
And again, I don't want to take credit away from him. He overcame adversity. He got Luke out of there. Good job. Great job. But I think we're starting to get a little overhyped here. Like,
and if you notice, we never really talk bad about his boxing because boxing, he has a lot of potential. We just talk about his overall douchiness.
yeah, I think also he's one of these guys that lives off what a lot of boxing fans has a problem with. They love offense and they love power. Defense wins championships.
Very true.
Defense is the cute girl that nobody notices because everybody's trying to chase the hot girl with big old boobs. That's offense and knockout power. But defense provides longevity. It provides you an avenue to land power shots. And that's a perfect lead into Valdez versus Burchelt.
Yes.
What a performance. Chef's kiss. Wow.